Yo, what's going on, guys? Danny Lincoln here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make those dope continuous carousels on Instagram. Before we jump into it, you need a couple things. You need Photoshop, After Effects, some photos, and a video or two. Now, you don't need After Effects. After Effects is just when you want to add the video part to this. It'll be easier. I think you could do it in Photoshop, but I don't know how well that will turn out. I'll go over that later, and it's pretty simple to do in After Effects. It's not, if you don't know how to use After Effects yet, don't be scared. You can still do this effect. It won't be that hard. We'll dive into that later. So after you have all your photos and video, you're going to want to open Photoshop, and you have to decide how many carousels you want, depending on the batch of photos that you have. So in my case, I have 47 photos, maybe a couple of duplicates, so probably like 43 or something like that. I'm gonna just wing it and go 5 carousels and just make it work. You can only there's a limit of 10 on Instagram, so you got to be careful. I've already tried to do more than that. I had to like knock it down to 10, which sucked because I already edited. But yeah, 10's the limit. So to find out your carousel size, you have to open up the calculator app if you're not good at math. The default Instagram size is 1080 by 1350. So if you take 1080 times the number of carousels you want, times 5 for me is 5400. So the new file will be 5400 by 1350. We'll just open that. You can keep it at 300 resolution. So now we have our canvas. The next thing we're going to do is you could divide that back up and add these grid lines. So you want these grid lines here so that when you're exporting, you can crop where those grid lines are, so then you know exactly where your swipes are, because I've had this problem where it doesn't line up right when you go to swipe on Instagram. You have it just doesn't work out. So to do this the right way, you can either find out all these numbers up top. If you don't have your grid lines, you can go to View, Rulers. So it's Control R. So Control R will pull up your rulers. Then you click on here, drag out, and that's how you get your grids. So then you can drag it back if you have too many. So you want one at the top, you want one at the bottom, and the edges. And then what we do here is you just click this square and then click on the screen and do the normal Instagram size. So 1080 by 1350. Hit OK. It doesn't matter what color, but you want them different colors. So this one's black. We'll do this one black. Then you just hold Alt, click and drag, and like make sure it's touching the other one. Let it go, change the color a little bit to just be whatever you want. We'll just do gray, do the same thing. And you can hold Shift. So hold Alt first, click, drag, and then if you hold Shift too, it keeps it on that same plane. And then just do that all the way across, and we'll change the color now so that they're all different colors. And you can just double click on these and it'll pull up the color. So to double check, just pull it off to the side and make sure they're lined up in here. Okay, so that one's good. This one, you might have to move the grids. Well, technically we should have did the grids after this. So let me just delete these real quick, because I think the squares will snap to the grid sometimes. So we'll just get those out of here. Okay, so this one goes, this one goes here. This one goes here. And we're just laying the template right now. We're not doing anything crazy. Okay, so now we don't see this white piece over here. So now that it's all connected, we're going to add the grids. This is how you should do it. And just make sure it's dead center on the lines. Sometimes it snaps, sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't snap, you got to zoom in and make sure it's on the right line. So now that we have the grid set up in the template, now we can go ahead and add all of our photos. So these are all my photos. I did a photo shoot just for fun of these Bose headphones that I have. So I'm just going to drag them. So I'm just going to drag them in, and you're just going to have to hit OK on all of these. Now I go into this without like a plan most of the time. So in this process, you're just going to want to like listen to music and just dive in and just get super creative. So for the video, you don't want to put any videos in Photoshop. It's going to make your Photoshop run super slow. And just don't do that. Just wait till the very end, and I'll show you how to like implement a video into this. But so I'm just gonna go through and see. So I know I have some wide photos. Wide photos are the best for this. When you already have them cropped like this, they're gonna be harder to work with, but you can still do it. It might be good for like little. You can like size them down and stuff. Okay, let me just go through some of these and figure out. So this is a cool one. And you don't have to keep it the whatever size this is. You can play with it. Like this is kind of cool, like that. And you want a lot of photos to like overlap on these grid lines, so that when people are swiping, they'll see like the next part or see something in it that'll keep them swiping. So let's just start with that for now. You can turn on auto select if you want, so that when you're clicking, you don't have to click over here. You can click on this, and it'll click whatever you clicked, or it'll select whatever you clicked. So for the main photo, we kind of want something that'll like grab people's attention, which might be something like that. Actually, let's do this. Yeah. So now you have these overlapping, and then let's just keep it going. So we'll mess with this image over here to make it blend better. I'll show you that in a sec. So let's do that. This one can go here. And then, so when you're doing this, we're going to do a lot of masking, and towards the end we'll add like overlays and stuff. But to mask, you want to click on the image and just click this square with a circle in the middle. This will allow you to use the paintbrush and like subtract or get rid of parts of the image like this. So you just want to adjust your brush accordingly. Like most of the time it's from like 60 to 80 for me for like harder edges, and you just adjust the size smaller. And if you want like that cool gradient, then you go 0 and you go higher. So then you get that cool like gradient style. But you can also use the gradient brush, and that'll create like this cool gradient like this. But I usually use the brush most of the time. So at this point, I'm going to let you guys do your thing. I'm going to dive in on this thing for a little bit. I'm going to speed this up. I'm going to come back towards the end and explain like the overlays and stuff and all that. And then the video stuff, we'll dive into that at the end too. So at this point, I'm going to do one more because it gets dark on this side, and I don't want like a big contrast from this to this. So I'm going to add one more plus 8640. If you ever adjust your canvas, you're going to have to pull the squares up to the front and move them over to the edge here and duplicate them like that. So now readjust your lines, because you think you can drag your photos over, but your photos there's still like parts of it spilling off. So this is how you'll be able to recorrect it. So now if I highlight everything else and drag it over, I don't know if I want to use this image. I might use, since it's blurry there, it's kind of blurry, then comes into there. That's kind of cool. So right now I'm just going to add where I want the video to be at. So there's two spots that are kind of open. There's this spot right here, which, so when they swipe, they won't really have much to see except like these edges of stuff. So we could put a video right here, like a square or whatever shape you want. Or we have this open space here and here, but here's kind of like you can see most of the headphones. So this is a good spot to have it. And over here. So let's go ahead and do that. So there's two ways you can do this, maybe more. But what I like to do is just do a square like so. And I already made a video of this, so I'll probably use parts of that. But you do a green screen like this, and we can do like this. So now it covers most of that that spot that was just open and blank, like nothing's really there. And you can still see like parts of this stuff. The other way is you could make a PNG. You can cut this out of the photo, but I don't like to do that because I have so many layers sometimes that I don't want to go through the hassle of doing that. If you just add a green screen, I'll show you later how to put a video on that in After Effects. It's really easy and simple. And then let's come over here. Let's find one more photo. This is another quick tip. So what I did earlier is you draw a square. You draw a square. You can have it whatever color you want. It doesn't matter. But whatever shape you want this photo to be cut out, you don't have to like make a mask or anything. You put the rectangle below it or whatever shape you have. So you hold Alt and go in between these two layers and click, and now your photo is inside this square, and now you can kind of put it how you want this thing to go. Double click on the layer and you can add effects to it, like a stroke. And if you put it outside, it rounds off the edges. If you put it inside, it squares it off. Now that we finalized our base, pretty much what we're gonna do is keep this green screen there, but make sure those green screens above all your edited effects. So right now, let's just go ahead and start adding some overlays. So what I like to do is I like to go either on Unsplash and type in overlays. So we can come here and we can go to overlays, and you can find cool effects. It's just based on preference. I like to go with like grunge overlays. So you can type that into grunge. Grunge overlays, and now you can get like these cool textures, or like sandpaper or paper textures. And now when we go to Photoshop, we can place this stuff on here. You can make it as big as you want, and then make sure it's underneath your green screen layer for the video, just because if it's above it, your video's also gonna have like that weird texture, but it looks cool, but unless the texture's moving, I wouldn't put it on the video. I'll put it underneath it. So click on normal. This is where your blending modes are, and just you can go through them to see which one looks the best, but normally it's gonna be lighten or screen when you have an overlay. But you can check all of them because I like to go through all of them just in case. But these ones are a little too much, so I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use like a film look almost. So let's go back to here. You can scroll down on this. These are all free to use, by the way, on Unsplash. Like that one might be good. Let's try it. Sometimes stuff doesn't work, so you just have to keep looking for more stuff. And you could try different colors and see what the blending modes do. But if you want a clean look, like I kind of feel like for this, since these Bose headphones are pretty clean, I might not use some overlays. I'm thinking maybe like a light leak on some of these, because this might be too grungy for Bose. But it does look kind of cool. And if it's too light, you can always double click on this, double click on your layer, and then you can like pull the blend if gray, the current layer, you can like darken it like this. And then what we'll do is just change the opacity also. Okay, so that looks cool on that image alone. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and put it on top of this. And then if you want it to be on just the photo, you do the same thing. And now it's just on this thing. So we're going to do this again, but on the other photos over here. So there's multiple ways you can do this as well. You can paint all this out except for this image, which I'll just go ahead and show you that so I don't have to, well, yeah. So you can mask this and literally paint all this. Well, I'm at 5,000. God dang. You can paint this out like this, and you can pick and choose how much you want to show. This is one way to do it, or you can hold the Alt thing on each square and duplicate it that many times for these 3 images. But for now, I'll just do this. So since this is like blocking a lot, we're going to unlink it so that the mask still stays there. And now if I click on this image, I can move it around and the mask will still be there. But the stuff that's showing is stuff I haven't painted out because there wasn't anything there. I didn't see it. So now we're just going to move it around to our liking. And that's kind of cool right there. So you can relink it if you want so it doesn't move again. But now we're just going to go paint out the rest that is left over, if there is any. Right here. I missed a bunch. So let's go find some light leaks now. So you can type in light or light overlays or light leaks, light whatever, anything with light. Let's just see. This is kind of cool. That's sweet. Let's try this. And then we can change the colors. We don't need those colors if we really don't want them. So this is on here. Okay. And most of these are going to be screen or lighten or add. You can see which one works the best. Screen shows more underneath. Lighten kind of blocks it out. And add should be almost the same as screen, but a little bit more dramatic. We'll do screen. And let's just see what other colors look like. Go to adjustments, hue and saturation. Let's go. I'm not going to keep this right there. I'm going to go like this, just so that it kind of matches the tone of the metals and stuff. So let's see where this flows the best. It kind of flows right off rip like that. So what I'm thinking is we go the size of this metal piece here, like this. Let's just cover the whole thing, and we're gonna go in and mask this thing. I don't want it to cover like the front because it'll be too crazy, I feel like. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So all these images are already edited kind of to match each other. But if you have a bunch of random images, you can go ahead and color grade them in here. But what I like to do on top of all this, you do this underneath your green screen still. So you hit this little circle with a slash on it. These are your adjustments that will adjust everything below that layer. So what I like to do is use selective color a lot. And now if you click neutrals, which a lot of these tones are neutral. You can mess with all these if you want to. So like you can tone your image and get it dialed in, even though you already edited this stuff. Just see what kind of results you get. But I like to do this just to see, because a lot of the times it turns out pretty cool. You don't want to go crazy. Some people might be like this and fucking like this, but you want to keep it subtle when you're doing this. You don't want to go crazy with it, because you can mess up the image pretty easily. But I just want a little bit more blue tones, I think. So it's like across the board kind of matches. Oh yeah, and make sure it's underneath your green screen, because it's going to change the color of your green screen. Same thing with all the little effects. So now let's get into the exporting process. So what you're going to want to do is open up or click your crop tool, and it'll already be cropped. Well, mine is. I don't know if yours is, but so you come up here and find 4x5, and it should be the right way. So just click and hold, and now this is why you need the grid lines, because if you don't, you'll come off the grid and it's going to be hard to figure out where your thing is supposed to be. So this is where it gets tricky. You don't want to export this one right away. You want to start over here, and right away when it's cropped right here, you can click and hold shift and it'll stay on that grid line. So this will help off rip, and then you just come over here, do that, and now it's perfectly cropped, and then just hit done. And then you want to label these as 1 through whatever number carousel you have. So this one will be save a copy as a JPEG, Bose copy 1, or whatever you want. But I'll just do Bose copy 1. Hit OK. And then now then you hit Control Z, and now you're back to this. So that's undo. Control Z or Command Z. Whoops, I clicked off it. So same thing, click again, click and hold, and now you're cropped in at the right spot. Hit done. And then once it's done, you save a copy, JPEG, Bose copy 2. And we do that for the rest. Control Z, back to normal, click once, and then click again to drag. And this one, you're still saving as a JPEG. And the green screen one, you're still saving as a JPEG. And we'll come back to that after this. So now that we are done exporting, if you did this without a video, you're all set. You can go to Instagram and upload all these photos in order with your carousel, and it'll turn out sick. But if you want to add a video or some sort of animation or whatever you want, we're going to close Photoshop, open up After Effects, and I'm going to show you how to just add a video on top of the green screen in like 2 minutes. It's super simple. So open up After Effects. If you haven't used it, it's okay. It'll take like no time to learn this. Just open up a new project. So find the photo that we exported with the green screen square and drag it over into this panel on the left here. It's your project panel. And what you're going to do is you can either drag it down here, or you can just drag it out here, or you can right click and hit new comp from selection. And this will make your comp the same exact size as the picture that we edited. So now that the green screen's there, we need to find a video, or you make a video that would go in that spot. So I filmed a bunch of stuff the other day, but I already edited a video, so I'm going to drag the video I edited, put it over here. So once you drag your video into your project, you want to drag it underneath this green screen image, and after that, come over to the right tab and find Effects and Presets. Once you have this, well, if you don't see this, come up to your window here and click Effects and Presets, and now type in on the search bar key light. So search key light on this search bar, drag it over here, and you're just gonna click this eyedropper tool and click the green. Boom. And that's pretty much it. But if you want this green screen to look really good. Then you're gonna add spill. Just type in spill and find advanced spill suppressor and drag that onto your image. And on the key light, click final result and do intermediate. And now this should look really good no matter what. And this is the green screen settings you want for almost every green screen, because if you have it on just the key light and final result, you'll come across a lot of problems. But this will help with a lot of those problems. So that's it. Now you can click on your video underneath that layer and just click and drag by holding shift, and you can like adjust the size of it. Okay, so now right now I'm just going to change the audio to go down because I don't want it to be as long as the normal video that I already posted. So we're just going to go here, and this is your how much it's gonna export this thing. So once you have your video in there, it can either be however long you want because it's just a normal Instagram post, but we're just gonna go from there to here for mine. Now to export this clip, you want to go to File, Export, Add to Media Encoder, and then let that open. If you don't have it, just download it. It comes with the Adobe Creative Suite, and just let it load up, and then I'll show you how to render it. You can do it another way through After Effects, but I don't like to use their rendering thing unless I'm doing a like rendering a PNG or like a transparent background. Okay, so now that it's loaded in here, you just click this H.264. You can hit play and just export it as is, but if you want to make sure the settings are right and name it, you click that H.264. It'll give you this window. If you're a video editor in Premiere, you know what this window is. It's almost the same as Premiere, or is the same. Render at maximum depth in the video, and then you want to use maximum render quality, and you can save it as the same name because it's a video file, not a photo, and it keeps the order so you know what image is next, and then hit OK, and then just hit play and let it render out. Right off rip, After Effects is going to make its own folder, so the file will be in that folder. So click this, and now it's in here. But if you want, you can open up your where your other photos are and just drag it in there, or you can click where you want the video to go. I just forgot to do that, but if you lose the file, just come in here and click this, and it'll pop up where it's at. Now that we're done, we're going to go ahead and post this. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do that. It's super simple. So we can go ahead and close After Effects. I'm not going to save it because I don't need it. So the next step after exporting all this stuff is uploading it to a Google Drive or airdropping it to your phone or whatever you use to get these images and videos to your phone. So now that you have all the photos and videos downloaded, what you're going to want to do is open up Instagram, go ahead and click the post, and go ahead and find your first image and make sure that it's uncropped and not cropped to be a square. And once it's uncropped with these arrows, go ahead and hit the carousel button, and then go ahead and put them in order the way we exported them. It's this one, then it's this one, this one, this one, or no, this one, this one, this one. Okay, then go ahead and hit next, and make sure your carousel is lined up perfectly and flows from beginning to end on how we exported them. And that's pretty much it. And then you can get creative with these. You can add multiple videos. And the reason why I just did a green screen square, because in reality we could have just put the video on top, scaled it down, and just left it on top of the image. But a lot of the times I will place or cut out the product, and there'll be part of the image above this video. So you could do it all in After Effects, but if I would have took some of this Bose headset right here and put it over the video a little bit, that's why you need the green screen there or a PNG or a cutout. But I just did it where I threw it on top, so you don't have to go through all that with the green screen if you're just throwing a video on top. But if you want some like cool effects or depth to it, you would put part part of the image over top of the video, and that's why we would do the green screen. So yeah, so that's it for this video. That's how you make a dope carousel that's continuous, either with products or a model you could use. Whatever you want to do with it, you can get creative, go have some fun with it, and that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.